welcome back to Leafy Advice. I'm Laura, I'm a biology student, and I want to talk about overwatering now. Yes, overwatering. So, overwatering is basically when you keep the soil way too wet for the plant, and it will cause root rot. So, root rot is when the roots don't have any oxygen, they're constantly in water, and as a result, they just start rotting. So, root rot will look like the roots are brown and like really soggy and mushy and wet, and healthy roots are not going to be mushy and they're going to be white. Really, if you like rinse all the soil off them, they'll be white. So if you want to see, because it's really important to stop overwatering before you kill your plant, some ways to identify overwatering would be if your plant is drooping but the soil's wet, or you know that you water it a lot. So that would mean that the plant is so unhappy, right? Its roots are rotting and it can't intake the nutrients it needs, is that it's falling over. But if you feel the soil definitely doesn't need water, or when you water it, it doesn't bounce back the way it would if it was just wilting. Another thing is that the foliage it'll turn yellow, except it won't dry up the way it would if it was being underwatered. It will kind of go mushy, like it doesn't look pretty. Another thing about overwatering when the foliage turns yellow is that it will happen like anywhere on the plant. Like it may be only the lower leaves, but it might also not be the lower leaves. It might be like the younger leaves, actually. So yeah, those are another thing. So if your plant just looks unhappy and you pick up the pot and it's very heavy, you can tell it's full of water, you would know that it's being overwatered. So what can you do when you're overwatering your plant? Well, the first thing is you want to dry out your soil like ASAP. So the first thing I would suggest would be repot your plant and like discard that wet soil. Start with like nice, proper moistness soil. And repot it. If you can't do that, I would suggest, if it's sitting in it's got drainage holes, you're off to a good start. You would dump out any water that's in the larger pot, and then I would kind of like, I can't do this without putting dirt everywhere, but I would take the plant and turn it upside down and kind of like squeeze the soil to try and squeeze some water out of it, just to help it dry out faster. And another thing you can do is you can take like a chopstick and you can make holes in the soil. Obviously don't stab your plants, but make holes in the soil because you're aerating it and you're increasing the surface area so that it can dry out faster. And then once you've done that, genuinely just cut down on watering. So either the easiest thing would be water it less frequently, but maybe you're like really dumping way too much water on it and you just need to give it less water at each watering. Yeah, I can't think of anything else, so I think that's all I wanted to talk about overwatering. Alright, well, see you guys in another video.